After Death is a poem by Christina Rossetti, an English poet known for her deeply emotional and often religious works. Here is the poem along with a detailed analysis.
After death.
The curtains were half drawn, the floor was swept and strewn with rushes, rosemary and may, lay thick upon the bed on which I lay, where through the lattice ivy shadows crept. He leaned above me thinking that I slept, and could not hear him, but I heard him say, poor child, and as he turned away, came a deep silence, and I knew he wept. He leaned above me thinking that I slept and could not hear him, but I heard him say, poor child, and as he turned away, came a deep silence, and I knew he wept. He did not touch the shroud or raise the fold that hid my face, or take my hand in his, or ruffle the smooth pillows for my head. He did not love me living, but once dead he pitied me, and very sweet it is to know he still is warm though I am cold.
Detailed analysis. Form and structure. Form.
The poem is a Petrarchan sonnet, a 14-line poem traditionally associated with themes of love.
Rhyme scheme.
The rhyme scheme follows ABBA, ABBA, CDE, EDC, typical of a Petrarchan sonnet, which helps to create a sense of harmony and melancholy.
Meter.
The poem is written in iambic pentameter, a rhythm that mimics the natural flow of speech.
Themes. Unrequited love.
The central theme of the poem is unrequited love. The speaker reflects on the man's lack of affection for her while she was alive and his newfound pity for her in death.
Death and mourning.
The poem explores the reactions of the living to the dead. The man's weeping signifies a delayed recognition of his feelings or a realization of loss that comes too late.
Silence and communication.
The speaker, now dead, can no longer communicate with the living, yet she perceives their actions and words. The poem underscores the irony of communication barriers, even in death.
Imagery and symbolism. Curtains half drawn.
This suggests a liminal space between life and death, symbolizing partial concealment and the transition from one state to another.
Rushes, rosemary and may.
These plants are associated with funerals and remembrance, enhancing the poem's somber tone. Rosemary, in particular, symbolizes memory and mourning.
Ivy shadows.
Ivy is often associated with eternity and fidelity, which contrasts with the man's lack of love during the speaker's life.
The shroud and fold.
These elements symbolize death and the finality of the speaker's life, emphasizing the physical barrier between the living and the dead.
Tone and mood. Tomey.
The tone of the poem is melancholic and reflective. The speaker conveys a sense of sadness, but also a gentle acceptance of her situation.
Mood.
The mood is somber, created by the imagery of death and the man's subdued mourning.
Speaker and perspective. Speaker.
The speaker is a deceased woman who observes the living from beyond the grave. Her perspective provides a unique commentary on love and loss.
Perspective.
The first-person perspective allows the reader to intimately experience the speaker's reflections and emotions.
Analysis of key lines. Poor child, poor child.
This line indicates the man's pity for the deceased speaker. The repetition emphasizes his sorrow and perhaps his regret.
He did not love me living, but once dead he pitied me.
These lines capture the central irony of the poem. The speaker acknowledges that she was not loved in life, but finds some solace in being pitied in death.
To know he still is warm though I am cold.
The contrast between warmth and cold highlights the divide between life and death. The speaker finds a bittersweet comfort in the man's continued life and warmth.
Conclusion.
After Death, by Christina Rossetti, is a poignant exploration of love, death, and the complexities of human emotions. Through rich imagery, careful structure, and a reflective tone, Rossetti captures the essence of unrequited love and the bittersweet nature of posthumous pity. The poem invites readers to consider the ways in which we express, or fail to express, our feelings for others, and the impact these expressions, or omissions, can have after death.